Yan. So, hello po, no? Good evening mga kareyo. So, bago natin umpisahan ng ating webinar with Attorney Dayan, reminder lang po, no? Sa lahat ng hindi pa nag-register, mag-join po kayo sa Reo Accountancy Group at mag-fill out ng form. Mag-send po kami ng certificate starting tomorrow, no? Sa lahat po ng 9,000 na nag-register para sa ating webinar ngayong gabi, maraming salamat po. Magkakaroon pa tayo ng susunod na webinar this month, no? So abangan ninyo. At kung may request kayo na topic, paki-post lang po sa Reo Accountancy Group. So, sa lahat po ng hindi pa member ng Reo Accountancy Group, mag-join na po kayo. Okay? So, ayan po, no? Sa mga nagkatanong naman po kung ang Reo ay tumatanggap ng undergrad reviewee, yes po, tumatanggap kami ng undergrad reviewee bukod sa mga graduates at mga refreshers. So ongoing po yung enrollment natin for October 2024 si Pale. So pag nag-enroll ka ngayon, magkaka-access ka rin ngayong araw. So ganun kabilis, no? So the earlier the better. So mga magtitinik ng October 2024 board exam, mag-enroll na po, no? The earlier the better. So sa Reo, 9-month review program. Kung next year ka magtitake May, abangan mo yung enrollment details namin. August naman ang start ng review for May 2025. Maraming salamat sa lahat ng undergraduate students sa sumusuporta sa Reo. Mga graduates, salamat din po, no? So sa mga gustong mag-invite sa Reo ng speaker, ayan, no, sponsorship, test banks, no? I-message niyo lang po ako o yung ating Facebook page. Maraming salamat po sa inyong suporta. Ayan po, no? So tinatawag ko po ang aming review director for Manila CPA Operations. Top 1 ng board exam din, no? CPA naman. October 2015, si Pale, ang aming FAR ODPROB reviewer, Sir Rally Paragas, to introduce our speaker. Ayan, thank you po.
Ayun, ayan, good evening. Ayan, thanks Sir Wency, no? So good evening, no, ladies and gentlemen. I am tasked, no, to introduce our speaker for tonight's, no, webinar, no, on tips how to develop, no, good study habits, no. So actually, no, ayan, tinawan ni Sir Wency, I don't really think na our speaker for tonight, no, actually needs an introduction, no, but I'll still, no, introduce her for our audience, no. So our speaker for tonight is a CPA lawyer, no, top 1, ayan, in the 2019, ayan, bar exams. She is a cum laude. She is a graduate of the University of Santo Tomas, no, College of Law in Legazpi City. And our very own, ayan, exclusive RFBT or law reviewer here at Rio. Ayan, let us all welcome, ayan, Attorney May Dayan Azores, CPA. Ayan, Attorney, ayan, good evening.
Ayan. Thank you, Sir Rally, for that introduction, and Sir Wency also. Ayan, good evening sa ating mga Rayo babies. Ayan. Kamusta? It's been so long since I conducted a webinar dito sa Rayo. Pagpasensyahan nyo na yung boses ko, ha? Kasi I made the mistake of drinking something sweet after yesterday's classes. So medyo pawala yung boses ko. But anyway, ilalaban naman natin tonight. Okay. So before we formally start our webinar, actually, light lang naman yung webinar natin ngayon, di ba? Unlike the usual webinars that I do na masakit sa ulo kasi, di ba, law subjects yun, RFBT. So ngayon, this is just something light. So magchichikahan lang tayo. So before we discuss yung topic talaga tonight, di ba? Sabi, turuan ko daw kayo on how to develop good study habits. Okay, I will try my very best to somehow help you with that. Before we do that, sige, let's just see kung sino ba yung mga attendees natin ngayon. Meron ba dyan gusto magpabate? Ganon. Okay, ganon yung usual, di ba? Sige, tignan ko yung nasa Facebook. Yan naman tinitignan ko lagi. Okay. So, I understand. Ang dami nating attendees ngayon. So, meron akong 1,300 na viewers right now. Pwede ata ako mag-live selling tonight eh. Mukhang makakabenta ako. Ayan, okay. So, more on attendance ata yung comments. Baka merong may birthday tonight. O gusto magpabate, ganon. Or mansari, ganyan. Kasi Valentine's month, di ba? Love month. Meron bang nag-celebrate ng birthday, anniversaries, monthsary, whatsoever? Or gusto lang may gusto lang shout out, ganyan. Before we start. Para lang masaya. Okay. Sige. Sabi ni Jessica Di Pedro, ang sarap pakinggan ng Rayo Baby. Alam mo, Jessica, mas masarap pakinggan yung Rayo CPA. O, di ba? Mas maganda yon. So, yun yung goal naman natin. Pa-shout out po, birthday ni Mama. Mama! Ayun. Okay. Sige, happy birthday sa nanay mo, ha? Sinacharot lang kita kay Jess Fee. Okay. Pasensya nyo na yung boses ko, ha? Sorry talaga. Okay. Ayan. Meron palang from University of Pangasinan College of Law. Hopefully can visit one of these days. Ayan, good evening. Okay, sige. So I understand. I think most of the attendees are ano naman, future CPAs. I'm not sure kung merong law student dito. Meron ba? Meron daw. February 11 pa po yung birthday, Ma'am Attorney. Malapit na rin. Advance happy birthday, Abdul Wali Pakatua. Ayan, papansit ka naman dyan. Okay. Feeling ko pwede na talaga ako maging vlogger. Okay. Pa-shout out po. Saan daw yon? Enhypen. Concert po nila ngayon. Okay. Hindi ako concert, hindi ko kilala yung Enhypen. Mabuti na lang hindi nyo ako in-invite sa concert nyo kasi paus ako. Okay. Pa-shoutout po, birthday ko bukas po. Happy birthday, Jordine Arginoso. Ayan, happy birthday. Pa-shoutout po, birthday ko sa May. Grabe naman yung May pa yung birthday mo, Ilana. Babalikan kita sa May. Okay. Tagal pa, Diyos ka. Tagal pa ng birthday mo. Advance happy birthday pa rin. Pa-shoutout po, Deptals na namin in 2 weeks. Ano ibig sabihin ng Deptals? Department als. Hindi ko alam ang ibig sabihin ng Deptals. Deptals. Pa-shoutout po ni Christine Happy birthday, Christine Flor Galeno. Okay. Sabi naman ni Yumi Grace, birthday no ng aso nila. Happy birthday! Anong name ng dog nyo? Birthday ng aso. Okay. Ay, birthday daw ni John Joseph. Asa yun, nabilis, nawawala. Basta birthday ni John Joseph, nakita ko yung kanina. Happy birthday, John Joseph. Okay. Pag-good luck, shout out po, attorney next week example. Good luck! Ayan, okay, pause ako. Ayan. Okay. Birthday po ni Patricia Andrade. Happy birthday, Patricia Andrade. Ayan. Okay. Attorney, shoutout po kita. Thank you, ha. Thank you, Rafael. Ikaw naman yung nag-shoutout sa akin. Okay. Diba? Dinodog show mo lang talaga. Dinodog show niyo lang talaga ako lagi. Okay. Pa-shoutout po, birthday ko ngayon. Ayan si John Joseph nga. Shoutout po sa lahat ng single. Ay. Shoutout daw. Mukhang si Rolando Vallador Gomeseria ay naghahanap ng kadate sa Valentine's. Sino ba ang wala pang kadate sa Valentine's? Comment lang po. Okay. Baka yun yung hinahanap mong motivation para makadevelop ng good study habits. Okay. Sige. Pasok ka na daw sa Monday nila James Miguel Morales. Okay. Pahingin basbas attorney sa parating na qualifying exam. Online basbas para sa inyo. Sa'yo, Kathleen Odesto. Grabe yung August pa yung birthday, Dale. Mas malala pa pala sa amin. Shoutout po Binyan Day po sa Binyan Laguna. Ay, birthday daw ni Joshua Carion sa Feb 13. Happy birthday, Joshua Carion. Hi, ma'am. Shoutout sa'yo. Balik ka na sa Bicol. Sa Holy Week, babalik ako dyan. Okay. Pa-shoutout po, attorney crush po kita. Thanks, Emmanuel Carl Tarayaw. Okay. Birthday po ni Aryan Tangkawan. Happy birthday, Aryan Tangkawan. Okay. Sige. Oo. May naghahanap daw ng kadate si James Miguel Morales. Kapag nagka-love live ka, James Miguel Morales, ha? Alam mo na. Looking daw ng kadate sa Halloween si Vince Malina. Okay. Sige. Pang-good luck lang daw sa exam si Jeff Bermundo. Okay. Ay, naghahanap daw ng review body sa Valentine's Day. Talaga naman. Okay. Pa-wash out daw, attorney kay Ma'am Sean Isguera. Sige, sabihan ko si Sean pag nagkita kami na pinapa-wash out mo siya. Phil Valconcha. Okay. Nako, dinodog show niyo lang talaga ako tonight. Okay. Wala po February 14 sa calendar namin. 15 na agad. Natanggal. Okay. Sige. Alright. Well, pwede namang mag-aral sa 14, di ba? Pwede namang i-date ang friends, di ba? pwede namang i-date ang family, wala namang problema. Okay. May recitation po kami sa Monday kay attorney. Kanina sa akin? Wala Okay, baka ibang ano. Okay, pa-shoutout po naman sa mga kaibigan ko, accrued CPA, si Jazz, si Mariel, si Emerald, si Bea, Crisel, Cassie, and Lester. Ang dami. Sana maging CPA kayo lahat. Okay, attorney shoutout po from Southern Leyte State University San Juan Campus. Ayan. Okay. Pampaswerte daw kay Karina Carolio Malina. Okay. Last na. Hi sa BSA Block 1 ng Urdaneta City University. Okay. Sige. So again, blessed evening to all of you. So for tonight, what we will do is, well, I know that accountancy is hard enough itself as a course. Baka meron ditong law student rin. So law school is, well, a lot harder also. So excelling in your chosen course, diba? Whether it's accountancy or some other course, really needs good study habits. Diba? It takes a lot of dedication, hard work, and commitment. Diba? Hindi nadadaan lang sa swerte, di ba? Hindi nadadaan sa purely dasal lang, di ba? Kailangan talaga syempre merong kasamang hard work, dedication, and commitment, and kailangan talaga masipag tayo, di ba? So, I know for a fact that because of the pandemic, studying became hard. It was a little unique considering the situation of having online classes. And a lot of students had difficulty, adjusting to this new style of learning. Thankfully, di ba, ngayon slowly bumabalik na tayo, or baka yung mga sa inyo talagang purely face-to-face na yung classes, di ba? So somehow, kahit papano, nakakabalik na tayo dun sa traditional way of learning, and meron ng human interaction, di ba? So it's also better for students and the teachers to interact with each other physically para mas matutunan yung kailangan matutunan, di ba? Whatever is being taught in the classroom setting, di ba? But learning right now is, of course, slightly different from my experience, di ba? Kasi, syempre, mag-iisang dekada na ata ako. Yeah, isang dekada na actually. Since I graduated from accountancy from college. So, ibang-iba na yung situation noon sa situation ngayon. Diba? So, noon, while there's internet, hindi naman ganon pa kalala yung distractions because of social media, TikTok, and all of that stuff. Unlike ngayon, di ba? There's a lot of distractions because of those things. And you also have, of course, artificial intelligence, which makes it tempting for students to, just rely on this artificial intelligence and not do anything for their homeworks, assignments, and the end result is that they will not learn anything kasi everything comes easy. Diba? It's on the tip of their finger. Kahit anong gusto nilang malaman, ando na yun. So the goal that we have today is how can you discipline yourself? How can you develop good study habits so that when you become professionals, okay, hindi na lang sa pagtitake ng CPA board exams, when you become professionals, you will also develop that discipline necessary in order to cater to the needs of your clients, diba? And in order to deliver your work excellently. Hindi na lang para maging mabuting estudyante kayo, but also to prepare you to become better professionals. Okay, so yun yung goal natin tonight. And while I'm discussing also yung tips na yun on how to develop good study habits, I will also share some of my own personal experiences, and you can also ask me questions right after. It's just a short presentation, so I would rather answer your questions kasi I feel like I would be able to contribute more kapag nagkwento ako sa inyo based on your questions rather than making my presentation so long. Okay? Sige. So allow me just to share my screen. Okay, meron tayong pin-prepare na konting pa PowerPoint para naman may makita kayo dyan na visuals. Okay, just give me a minute. Yung mga hindi ko na shoutout, mamaya na lang ulit ha. Okay, sige. Alright. Okay, so hopefully you can see my screen already. Okay, so mamaya babasahin ko ulit yung mga nagpapa-shoutout sa atin dyan sa Facebook. Okay? So, as mentioned, our topic for tonight is how to develop good study habits. Why are good study habits important? So, like what I said, syempre, it's already a competitive world out there, 'di ba? Lalo na sa college, 'di ba? Mahirap na papetiks-petiks lang, lalo na sa accountancy, 'di ba? And most of accountancy schools, meron silang minimum grades, 'di ba? So hindi talaga uubra sa accountancy yung dasal-dasal lang, 'di ba? So kailangan talaga you have to, be ahead. You have to also have a fighting chance, 'di ba? And you have to develop good study habits because admittedly, accountancy is not an easy course, 'di ba? Hindi ko nga rin maintindihan kung bakit ang hirap-hirap ng accountancy pero ang dami pa rin gusto maging CPAs, 'di ba? But well, whatever your motivation is, I'm sure it is valid, 'di ba? And I'm sure it's good enough for you to continue the accountancy course. But before we start rather yung discussion talaga on how to develop good study habits, sige, konting kwento lang, konting story time lang muna before we start, para lang rin ma-motivate kayo to continue, 'di ba? Your accountancy course, even though it's difficult already, and most of the time siguro, I am sure you have thought of giving up already or shifting courses, 'di ba? And you will question whether it's worth it or not. Sige. Ako naman, I have told this story so many times already, but since siguro may mga freshmen dito, baka hindi pa naririnig, yung pag-take ko ng accountancy in college is not something that I chose for myself. It's actually a course that my mom suggested to me. So, when I was entering college, ang gusto ko lang naman talaga is maging lawyer. That's really a dream I had since elementary. Yun na yung goal. So, even nung high school, I know what I wanted to be, okay, after, graduating. So, I wanted to become a lawyer. But of course, you cannot become a lawyer without taking a pre-law course first. So, you have to choose a pre-law course for college. Now, we have no lawyers in the family. I'm the first lawyer. So, wala akong matanungan kung anong magandang pre-law course. So, when I ask around, yung mga friends ko na gusto rin mag-law or yung mga kakilala kong law students na, they told me na yung common na course or yung common na pre-law course for law school is political science. So, yun yung alam ko na pwedeng pre-law to prepare me for law school. So when I was already applying for college, when I was already filling out the application form, sinabi ko na sa nanay ko, sabi ko, ma, ang iti-take kong course for college is political science kasi maganda daw siyang pre-law. Kaya lang nung narinig yun ng nanay ko, sabi niya, wag ka na mag-political science. Sabi ko, bakit naman? Sabi niya, paano kung after college, hindi mo na maisipang dumiretso ng law school? Baka mamaya tamarin ka na, 'di ba? Baka mamaya gusto mo magtrabaho na lang, 'di ba? Baka mamaya mag-asawa ka na, hindi ka na dumiretso ng law school, 'di ba? So baka yung biro niya nga, baka maging political science, 'di ba? Sabi niya. So, anong gagawin mo, 'di ba? Pag hindi ka natuloy ng law school, what will you do with that degree? 'Di ba? Magtuturo ka. Yan yung sabi niya sa akin. Sabi niya, why not take up accountancy? So nung narinig ko yun, sabi ko, mama, hindi ako magaling sa math. Nung high school nga, talagang kinapang ko lang ang algebra, calculus, lahat ng math subjects, di ba? Talagang pinanalangin ko and inaral ko mabuti kasi hirap na hirap talaga ako sa math subjects. So when she suggested it to me, I was really hesitant and I was really firm on, rejecting yung proposal niya to take up accountancy. Kaya lang sabi niya, hindi naman yan math, sabi niya sa akin. May calculator naman, ano lang yan? Basic ano lang yan, math, adds, subtract, multiply, division. More on analysis yan. Analysis lang yan. Kaya mo yan, madali lang yan. So yun yung sabi niya sa akin. So sabi ko sa nanay ko, sure ha, hindi math. Sabi niya, oo, hindi yan math. Okay, so dahil wala naman nga talaga akong preferred course, gusto ko lang ng pre-law course, I decided to put accountancy as my first choice. And then totally give up political science kasi wala naman nga talaga akong alam about it. So, kailangan ng second choice. So, naghanap na lang ako in the same college. So, nakita ko, human resource. Wala lang, nilagay ko as second choice. So, yun na yung sinabit kong application form sa university. So, when I took the entrance exams, of course, it's a state university, so ang daming applicants, mababa yung tuition, so ang daming estudyante na gusto makapasok sa Bicol University. When I got the results of that entrance exam, yung nakalagay doon sa results is that I am qualified but below quota. Anong ibig sabihin nun? Yung accountancy program kasi sa Bicol University, at that time, well actually hanggang ngayon pa rin naman, it's the most competitive course in BU, in Bicol University. Yun yung pinaka-competitive na course. Because at that time, yung college namin, it produces a lot of CPAs. Kasi mataas naman yung passing rate at that time. So almost always, isa or dalawa lang hindi nakakapasa. So almost laging 100%, tapos nagpo-produce pa kami ng top notchers. So it's really a good program. So yung cream of the crop ng Bicol na gusto mag-accountancy, nag-entrance exam sa BU. Kaya lang, makukunin lang nung accountancy program is only 150 students. So, 50 students kada block, 3 blocks. So, 150 students lang. Yung top 150 scorers, yun yung kukunin. Yun lang yung makaka-enroll sa accountancy program. So, ako, I got the minimum grade to enter the accountancy course, kaya lang hindi ako kasama doon sa 150. So, hindi pa rin ako maka-enroll. So, yun yung meaning ng qualified but below quota. So, ganon. Nung nalaman ko yon, I already told my mom. Sabi ko, Mama, hindi ba yun sign na hindi para sa akin yung accountancy course, di ba? Na, well, siguro iba talaga. Parang tinry ko naman, pero hindi talaga. But, deep inside, I was also disappointed with myself because admittedly naman, I was always academically competitive because I always wanted to, get honors, medals for my parents also. So, nung nalaman ko yun, medyo na-disappoint ako na hindi ako nakapasok doon. Kahit hindi ko naman talaga gusto yung course initially. So, dahil wala, hindi makakapag-enroll, I was already set on taking my second choice, yung human resource management. Kasi I cannot transfer naman to a private university kasi mahal yung tuition. Hindi naman kaya. Hindi naman kaya mag-aral ako sa private university, private school. So, pa-enroll na ako doon sa human resource management. Kaya lang, after a few days ata or a week, yung nanay ko, she obtained information na yung accountancy program sa Bicol University will be conducting a 2-day crash course. So, yung 2-day crash course, ang objective nun is to fill up yung mga slots na hindi kinuha nung 150. Kasi yung out of the 150, hindi naman lahat nag-enroll. So, meron doon na siguro bago yung isip or sa ibang school nag-enroll, di ba? So, hindi nag-enroll. So, may mga unfilled na slots. So, siguro may mga 10 na slots na hindi filled up. So, ang ginawa ng program, yung mga qualified but below quota, they will attend a 2-day crash course on basic accounting. After the 2-day crash course, they will take an exam. And whoever gets yung highest naman na 10, yun yung papa-enrollin sa program. So, yun yung sinabi sa akin ng nanay ko. Sabi niya, why don't you try to, take this crash course program para maka-enroll ka pa rin sa accountancy? So when I heard of that, I was really firm on not trying anymore. Kasi I was afraid na paano kung hindi na naman ako pumasa, 'di ba? Paano kung hindi na naman ako pumasa, nakakahiya na, 'di ba? Parang gano'n yung feeling ko. And feeling ko rin baka hindi nga para sa akin kasi hindi nga ako nakapasa the first time around. Paano pa ito? Ang dami-dami rin naman na qualified but below quota. Tapos basic accounting yung questions pa, wala naman ako kaalam-alam doon, 'di ba? And I don't think enough maintindihan yung basic accounting in 2 days, 'di ba? So initially I was hesitant. But after some prodding by my mother, na-convince naman ako to try again and to take that crash course program. So when I took the crash course program, I really had difficulty understanding basic accounting. I had the idea already what it's about, pero nahirapan pa rin ako. But I'm already I already wanted to pass this exam kasi I don't want to felt that failure again. So gusto ko nang maipasa para meron na akong sure na course sa college. So, pinag-aralan ko naman siya, and then fortunately, nakapasok doon sa 10. Okay, so I was fortunate enough to be one of those 10 na nakapag-enroll eventually sa accountancy program. So, yung pagpasok ko pa lang, tagilid na agad. So, when I was in the accountancy course na, I really thought na hindi naman siya gano'n ka-demanding, hindi naman siya gano'n kahirap. Kasi sabi ng nanay ko, ano lang naman, madali lang naman daw. So, I thought, yung study habits na meron ako nung high school, pwedeng umubra ngayong college. And I was so wrong. Like what I said, yung accountancy course is the most competitive. So halos lahat ng valedictorians ng Bicol nung high school nasa accountancy program. So all of them are already excellent in their academics. And mahirap pa yung course. So it was really competitive na talagang na-culture shock ako. So I know that I had to step up and change my study habits in order to keep up doon sa demands ng program. And aside from that, meron pang minimum maintaining grade of 85. Kapag meron kang below 85 sa isang subject, wala, tanggal ka na. No second chances. Mawawalan ka ng chance to graduate from Bicol University. So, aside from I understand already that the course is difficult, may ganun pang minimum maintaining grade, and ang hirap rin makipagsabayan. Diba? So, what I'm about to share with you are also habits and techniques that I also used based on my own experience on how I was able to survive a course that I initially did not want, diba? And even during the time that I was already taking up the course, hindi ko talaga siya pa rin nagustuhan until pumasok na yung law subjects, yung tax. That's the only time na na-appreciate ko yung course. So it's not really something that I chose for myself, but since I'm already there, diba? I still managed to survive the course, and well, by God's grace, I still manage also to obtain a Latin honor. So kahit hindi mo gusto talaga yung course, kahit medyo labag sa kalooban mo, it's still possible to become academically excellent. Okay, so hopefully makatulong sa inyo yung ginawa ko rin. Okay, both in the accountancy course and then also in law school. Okay, sige. And by the way, yung na-develop ko ring study habits in accountancy, it really helped me a lot in law school. Kasi yung discipline na nakuha ko sa accountancy course, nadala ko siya sa law school. Okay, sige. So for any one of you who are planning to take up law, dapat dito pa lang, maganda na yung study habits nyo kasi sa law school, it's more demanding. Okay, it's more competitive there. Mas grabe yung pressure. So mas maganda na dito pa lang, maganda na. Okay, maganda na yung performance nyo. Okay? Sige. Alright? So the first tip that I can give to you in developing good study habits, ito lagi ko namang sinasabi. Okay? Know your learning style. Know your learning preference. Okay? This is the first step in developing effective study habits. Diba? Bakit? Kasi every student approaches the task of learning differently. Lahat ng estudyante, meron tayong unique and personal learning style, or meron tayong preferred channel through which learning comes more easily. Ano bang ibig sabihin ng learning style? Well, learning style is the way or the method by which you understand, okay, whatever you are reading or the information that is being communicated to you. So there are learners who are more effective if they saw visual materials. So yan yung tinatawag nating mga visual learners. Meron naman na mga students, meron na mga learners na mas effective kapag naririnig nila. Okay, yung inaaral nila or yung information na gusto nilang maintindihan. Yan naman yung mga oral learners. Meron din namang mga learners na kailangan gumagalaw or kailangan they are doing something, okay? Or they are, basta meron silang some other things that are doing on top of learning. Kaya di ba minsan may mga estudyante na paikot-ikot, galaw ng galaw kapag nagme-memorize or something. Diba? So may mga ganun rin na learners. Meron naman na combination of all of those. Diba? Meron namang variations, okay, ng learning style. But the first step really is you have to understand how you learn. Okay? Because if you already understand how you learn, you will now adjust your habits and your schedule based on how you learn. Diba? So kung alam mo na visual learner ka, syempre, just make sure na yung inaaral mo, nakikita mo talaga siya. Diba? So ako, I'm a visual learner. So dahil alam ko yon, every time I try to memorize something, I write it on a sticky note, ilalagay ko sa wall ko, diba? Or minsan nga, sa Manila paper, kasi kailangan ko nga siya makita. Diba? So ganon. Kung alam mo naman na oral learner ka, diba? Kung may hindi ka maintindihan or kung may hindi ka ma-memorize, then pwede ka sigurong makinig ng audio recording nung assignment or kung ano man, di ba? Or pwede ka sigurong humingi ng permission sa prof mo kung pwedeng i-record yung lecture para mapakinggan mo habang nasa jeep ka, habang wala kang ginagawa, naglalakad ka, whatsoever. Kasi yun yung learning style mo. Or kung nakakapag-aral ka nga habang naglalakad-lakad or habang may ginagawang something else na hindi nangangailangan ng thinking, di ba? You can also do that, di ba? So, you can keep on moving, di ba? So, yan yung pinakaunang step, okay? You should learn how to adapt, okay? Based on your learning preference and your learning style. And from there, you can now cultivate effective study habits that will really help you, okay? Kasi, for me, dahil nga ang demanding rin naman ng mga subjects, di ba? Tapos kulang na kulang ang oras ng mga estudyante. Mas maganda talaga to study smart, not study hard, di ba? Kasi when you study smart, di ba? Kahit hindi ganun kahaba yung study time mo, it's quality naman eh. Kasi alam mo na effective yun sa'yo, di ba? Kasi kung hindi ka naman visual learner, why will you waste your time writing on a Manila paper? Hindi ka naman nga natututo in that way, di ba? At in the same case, kung alam mo na visual learner ka, why will you waste your time listening to an audio na mabilis ka ma-distract, di ba? When it's more effective for you to draw diagrams, tables, etc., di ba? So you have to understand also your learning style. That's the very first step, okay? Next, after learning your learning preference or understanding your learning style, the second tip that I can give for you is, of course, to find a regular time for studying and create a study schedule. Now, bakit kailangan meron kang regular time for studying? Yung purpose talaga niyan is to trick your brain. Okay, pag ganitong oras mag-aaral tayo, di ba? So, if you study at the same time each day, your brain will already be prepped for learning when you sit down. Di ba? Kesa yung mag-aaral ka lang, kapag tamaan ng sipag, di ba? So, kung meron ka ng regular time for studying, halimbawa, pagka-uwi sa bahay, 5 p.m., okay, rest lang ako ng konti, dinner, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. study time yan. Diba? So, naka-schedule na yan. So, kung meron kang regular time for studying, diba? Yung brain mo, it's already wired to thinking na, okay, mag-aaral tayo ngayon, mag-absorb tayo ng information. Diba? So, dapat meron kang fixed na time for studying every day. Okay? Now, aside from a regular time for studying, you can also schedule yung mga parang bonus study times if you have a free time. Okay? And nasa condition ka naman mag-aral, di ba? Pero yung regular time, na negotiable yun. Kung meron na free time, at least meron ka pang dagdag, di ba, na oras para makapag-aral, di ba? And in addition to finding times that work, you also should consider yung time na talagang energetic ka. Okay? So kailangan mo ring maintindihan yung kung kailan ka inaantok, kung kailan ka energetic, di ba? Para yung study schedule mo, ma-adjust mo rin. Okay? Ma-adjust mo rin based on your body clock. Okay? Kasi may mga estudyante na sa umaga, di ba, mga morning person, sobrang gigilas, sobrang energetic. Meron naman talagang hindi morning person pag umaga talagang sobrang moody, di ba? Wala talaga sa mood. Sobrang down ang gloomy ng face, di ba? Hindi mo talaga makausap, di ba? Pero buhay na buhay pag gabi, di ba? So may mga ganon. So you also have to adapt accordingly based on your body clock. Okay? Para yung regular time for studying mo, effective rin. Okay? And it's also quality. Okay? So once you have understood already and you have allotted regular time for studying, of course, in order to know, okay, every day, ano bang aaralin ko, you should also create a study schedule. Okay? So one of the best ways to ensure success in school is to develop a study schedule and stick to it. Okay? So ito yung hindi mo pwedeng mawala talaga. Okay? Kailangan meron ka laging schedule. Okay? So meron naman kayong syllabus, di ba? Sa school nyo. Diba? So, pwede nyo gawin yung schedule based on that. Kung meron man dito nagre-review na, pwede nyo ring i-pattern after sa syllabus also or on how the review center will give to you your review classes or yung mga handouts, di ba? So, pwede nyo i-tailor fit yung schedule nyo based on your needs. And dapat yung schedule nyo, it also gives room for emergencies, but it should be adjustable. Okay? It should be flexible. Kasi baka mamaya may mga schedules kayo na hindi masusunod, di ba? Kasi syempre hindi man may iwasan, sometimes may kailangan kang gawin, di ba? May hindi inaasahang kailangan na bigyan ng oras. So sometimes hindi nasusunod. So your study schedule should also be flexible. Okay. So in order to give you some tips in creating a study schedule, okay, I will share you these tips. So unang-una, you start by identifying the times that you have available time to study. Okay. So take into consideration nyo yung classes nyo, of course, yung commute time, yung transport time, yung meal time, yung homework, yung chores, di ba? Yung sleeping time. So kailangan realistic rin kayo. Okay, so kailangan nyo yan i-factor in also. Second, you should also block off those times on a calendar and start by filling in your classes and homework assignments. So ngayon, di ba, digital naman halos lahat. So you can use, let's say, a calendar app, or kung mas traditional kayo, pwede naman kayo gumamit ng journal or ng planner, di ba? Para nakalagay na dyan mismo, para nakikita nyo na, wala na kayong choice kasi nakablock na sa calendar nyo. Okay? So yun. And the number 3, like what I said, allow for some flexibility. So if something comes up and you need to adjust your schedule, at least be sure to do so. Okay? Next, you should also make a list of the subjects you need to study and then create a plan for how much time you will spend on each one. Dito talaga nag-work yung sinasabi kong study smart. Kasi hindi naman lahat ng subjects created equally, di ba? May mga subjects talaga na kailangan mong pagtuunan ng grabeng oras at pansin kasi mabigat rin naman talaga yung units niya. May mga subjects rin naman na pwedeng siguro konti na lang, 'di ba? Kasi hindi naman masyado kailangang hindi man demanding yung professor or magaling ka na doon, 'di ba? Or minor subjects lang naman, 'di ba? Kasi for example, yung PE, 'di ba? Yung pinapagawa lang naman sa inyo mostly physical activities, 'di ba? So hindi mo na kailangan bigyan ng masyadong malaking time talaga for studying, di ba? So yun. So you should also study smart and take into consideration yung weight ng kada subjects, okay? And of course, you get organized, okay? So as much as possible, your study area should be clean, it should be free from distractions, di ba? And mamaya ito pala yung next na tip ko. Dapat yung materials mo ready na, di ba? Hindi yung pabalik-balik ka, tapos biglang may makikita kang snack, di ba? Kung ano na, distract ka na. Okay? So, yun. Now, speaking of that, yun yung next tip ko actually is to organize your materials and eliminate distractions. So, ako noon, nung nagre-review ako for the bar, yung mesa ko noon, blank lang talaga siya. Blank. It's empty. Okay? Walang nakapatong kahit ano other than the book stand. Okay? Now, meron akong separate na area where my books are and where my handouts are. So, kung ano yung aaralan ko for the day, yun lang ilalagay ko doon. And yung cellphone ko, naka-silent and tinatago ko yan sa cabinet. Yung far end ng room para hindi ako matempt i-check. Okay, so nakatago siya, naka-silent. So nawawala na siya sa isip ko. So walang distractions at all. So nakatapat lang siya sa wall, okay, para talagang wala akong makikita, wala akong mapapansin. Focus lang sa inaaral ko. So it's not advisable daw to study in front of a mirror. Kasi kapag nag-aral ka sa harap ng mirror, di ba, sometimes parang dami mong papansin na parang, ganda ko today. Ganon, di ba? Parang kailangan ko ng haircut, di ba? So, mabilis ka ma-distract. So, para mas maganda, clear yung table mo, di ba? Yung inaaral mo lang, di ba? Good lighting, di ba? I'm not sure, may mga estudyante kaya kasing mag-aral na may music. Ako kasi gusto ko complete silence. So, you do you. Kung ano yung mas gusto nyo, di ba? Tapos, kung gusto nyo talagang walang distractions, tanggalin nyo yung mga gadgets, yan, mga cellphone, ganyan, i-silent mode nyo. And pwede nyo pakiusapan rin yung mga tao sa household nyo na kung pwede wag mo na kayo istorbohin in your regular study schedule. Talagang para focus. Okay? So, yun. Alright? Next, ito, important rin ito. Because I understand, assignments and homework can be overwhelming. Di ba? Yung mga aralin can be overwhelming. And kung overwhelming na yung kailangan mong gawin, and I'm sometimes guilty of this, you end up procrastinating. Di ba? Kasi ang stressful, di ba? Nakaka-pressure ang daming kailangan gawin. So, the way for you to overcome procrastination and being overwhelmed by what you need to do, you can break down big task into smaller ones. So, kung halimbawa may kailangan kayong gawing report, may kailangan kayong gawing thesis or whatsoever, o report na lang, 'Di ba? So, hindi pa kayo ready o hindi ka pa ready to, to prepare the entire report, 'di ba? So why don't you start muna by making an outline, 'di ba? So parang day 1 outline muna. Day 2 research, 'di ba? Tapos day 3 start with ganito, ganyan. So para i-breakdown mo siya into smaller ones, it's not too overwhelming, 'di ba? So kung hindi siya masyadong overwhelming, yung brain mo rin parang hindi siya nati-trigger na hindi saka na natin 'to gawin kasi masyado nakaka-pressure, masyado nakaka-overwhelm, 'di ba? So that's also effective, okay, to break down big task into smaller ones, okay? And sometimes rin kung sabay-sabay talaga yung demands ng subjects, ang usual ginagawa ko noon, I always start with the difficult ones first. Bakit? Kasi pagkaupo mo sa study area mo, sa study table mo, 'di ba? Yung adrenaline rush tsaka yung willingness mo to really finish all your task nasa peak pa eh. So, i-take advantage mo 'yun. So, simula ka dun sa pinakamahirap. Okay? Para kung halimbawa medyo tamarin ka na or medyo mababa ng energy mo, at least hindi na gano'n kahirap yung mga susunod na task. Okay? So kung halimbawa, hirap na hirap ka sa tax pero kailangan mong aralin, may kailangan kang tapusin na assignment, unahin mo 'yon. Okay? Para 'pag tapos na 'yon, 'di ba, hindi ka na masyadong stressed out, hindi ka na masyadong pressured, yung mga next na gagawin mo mas madali na. Okay? So 'yon. Next, ito very important for me. You should also create your own notes and outlines. Ako, I always make sure na may sarili akong notes and outlines while attending classes. Ang problema lang sa akin, ang pangit ng sulat ko. Okay? So, nung nakapasa ako sa bar and nanghihingi ng copy ng notes ko yung mga kaibigan ko na magte-take ng bar, hindi ko talaga maibigay. Kasi ako lang nakakaintindi ng notes ko. Ang pangit talaga ng sulat ko nun. Yung notes naman kasi for me, pang-recall lang siya. It's not really something na I intended to pass on to others. Yun rin yung mali ko. Mas okay sana na meron akong notes na digital rin para naipasa ko rin. Pero kasi yung notes for me kasi it's a way for me to remember what I'm learning. Okay? Kasi yung hand and mind coordination is very effective. 'Di ba? Habang nagdi-discuss yung professor mo, sinusulat mo, pag nag-e-exam ka, sometimes yung naalala mo kung saan exact place mo sinulat. 'Di ba, yung sagot dun sa tanong. Or sometimes naalala mo pa kung anong color ng ballpen. 'Di ba, anong color ng ballpen yung sinulat mo, 'di ba? Kung nagha-highlight ka, minsan naalala mo pa kung saang parte mo hin-highlight, 'di ba? So, 'pag meron kang sariling notes, meron kang sariling outline, mas personal yung learning, 'di ba? Mas effective, okay. And aside from yung notes talaga, yung outlines rin, nung nagte-take ako ng bar, another thing that I did, habang nag-aaral ako, bukod sa nagke-create ako ng notes, 'pag feeling ko importante, ginagawan ko rin siya ng sariling question. Okay. So, aside sa notes, meron akong separate na pad for questions. Yung questions naman na yon, gagamitin ko yon para pang-test on whether I understood what I just learned. Okay. So, pwede rin yun. Pwede nyo rin yung gawin. Hindi lang yung notes talaga na that contains yung subject mismo, yung discussion. You can also create topical questions. Okay. Para ma-test rin kayo. Okay. After studying. Okay. So, yun. Next, ito, effective rin, lalo na sa RFBT, ang daming kailangan alalahanin. You can also use memory tricks. Okay? Diba? So, yung mga mnemonics, diba? So, iba-iba kasi yung mga memory tricks eh. So, for me, pinaka-effective yung mga acronyms, ganyan. Para doon sa mga nakaka-attend ng lectures ko sa Reo, diba, yung mga reviewee ko, they can attest na ang hilig ko sa mga acronyms. Kasi nga, hindi talaga effective rin yung, alam mo yun, i-memorize mo yung word for word. Diba? Kasi ang overwhelming minsan, di ba, hindi mo makalimutan. So, iba-iba yung mnemonic styles, you do you, kung paano kayo magme-memorize. Aside from acronyms, yung ginagawa ko rin noon, kasi mabilis ako makamemorize ng lyrics ng kanta. So, nung ina-adjust ko yung study habits ko, sabi ko, bakit ang bilis ko maka-memorize ng kanta, pero yung kailangan ko i-memorize, hindi ko agad maalala. 'Di ba? So that's when I realized that I also had to use that to my advantage. Na pag catchy, pag kinakanta ko, mas name-memorize ko. So minsan, ginagawa ko, kinakanta ko yung kailangan ko i-memorize. 'Di ba? Kasi pag may tune, parang naalala ko. Yun. Another memory trick that you can also use, sometimes you can say over and over again the things or the information that you want to recall. Effective yan, syempre, kasi, di ba, alam mo yung yung prayer, di ba? It comes naturally to us, di ba? Kasi paulit-ulit nating sinasabi. So, ganun rin yung effect nun. So, pag paulit-ulit mong sinasabi, di ba? Paulit-ulit mong nire-recite, imposible na hindi mo siya ma-memorize. So, pwede nyo rin gawin yun na technique. Okay? So, yun. So, in this case, sa memory trick rin, kailangan nyo rin gamitin yung learning preference nyo. Kasi nga ako, I'm a visual learner, so sinusulat ko rin talaga. Dapat nakikita ko siya everyday para nare-recall ko siya. So yung mga oral learner naman, pwedeng pakinggan nga nila para yung memory rin nila mas effective. Okay? So you can also use that. Alright? And another thing pala, ito not really a memory trick. Yung sinabi ko rin sa inyo, questions kanina na pwede nyo sagutan right after, pwede nyo pa yung gawing creative. Okay? What I did also, when I reviewed for the bar, yung mga questions ko, iba, kakat ko, nilagay ko sa isang, tapos parang everyday, parang feeling ko nasa nasa game show, nagbubunot ako ng question doon, tapos sinasagutan ko, diba? Tapos pag nasagutan ko, then I deserve a treat, parang gano'n. As simple as I can eat, let's say I can eat a banana, parang mga gano'n lang. Okay? Para medyo fun yung learning. Hindi naman kailangan kasing stressful lagi, di ba? You can also incorporate fun, okay, in the way you learn. Okay? Sige. Next ito, siguro medyo obvious. Okay? This may seem obvious, but as the saying goes, 80% of success is just showing up. Okay? So just show up. Okay? So for students, okay, as much as possible, avoid absences. You show up, you participate, be an engaged student, you ask questions. As a teacher, I appreciate that. Pag nagtatanong yung mga estudyante ko, I feel happy. Because that's how I know na yung mga estudyante engaged sila doon sa discussion. And that's how I know that they are interested in what I'm saying. So, pag tahimik yung mga estudyante, parang medyo nalulungkot ako na parang, ay, wala silang questions. Hindi sila curious doon sa, doon sa topic. So, mas maganda na engage kayo. Okay? And of course, before going to class, kailangan prepared kayo. Okay? So, hindi pwedeng pupunta kayo sa class, uupo lang kayo, makikinig kayo sa prof, di ba? Kasi hindi rin naman yan effective. Okay? So, before you go to class, you should have also read the material already. Para pag nagklase na kayo, confirming na lang on what you already know or just clarifying, okay, the things that you want clarified. Okay? So, pag umupo kayo sa klase, alam nyo na yung dinidiscuss ng teacher, you're much more likely to stay engaged during class. Okay? So, yun. But of course, I understand sometimes may mga prof rin naman talaga na hindi nagtuturo. Di ba? Hindi nagtuturo, or sometimes laging absent, ganyan. So, sometimes you have to self-educate. Di ba? So, yung mga ganon, pag ganon yung na-encounter yung professors, you can also use that to your advantage by using that as your additional study time, di ba? And you can also use that time to study the material again, di ba? So, no time wasted. Okay, no time wasted. But just always show up. Okay? Sayang eh. Kahit sa reviews, school nga eh, di ba? I appreciate yung mga reviewees talaga that are consistent in attending the classes. Kasi kapag nag-a-attend yan, nakikita mo yung dedication. And most of the time, yung natira talaga, yung present from beginning to end, yun yung mga nakakapasaya na CPAs. Because they appreciate yung value nung andun ka, di ba? You are present and you know that this will contribute to your success. Okay, so you go to class. Okay? Next, ito, learning should not be solitary naman. Okay? You should not do it alone. Okay? So one of the effective study habits that I also learned in college is joining and forming a study group. Nung high school, hindi ito masyado effective sa akin. Kasi kapag nag-i-study group kami ng mga friends ko nung high school, nagchichismisan lang kami, ang iingay namin. Pero nung college, ang mga binarkada ko kasi, yung mga best sa klase. Yan. So nung college, dahil alam ko nga na it's a competitive world out there, yung mga binarkada ko, yun yung mga top students sa class. So, yung nasa circle ko, yung valedictorian ng college, yung iba, mga cum laude, ganyan. So, lahat sila excellent sa academics. So, dahil seryoso sila sa pag-aaral, syempre, mapipressure ka rin, di ba? Kasi mga kaibigan mo yun, alangan naman ikaw lang hindi nag-aaral, di ba? Mamomotivate ka rin mag-aral. So dahil lahat nga ng mga kaibigan ko nung college ay magagaling, di ba? Nag-aaral talaga, effective sa akin yung study group. So pag walang klase or may spare time kami, pumupunta kami sa bahay ng isang friend namin, nag-aaral kami doon. Okay. So after na namin mag-aral, pag okay na, nagbo-movie kami, di ba? So ano rin, masaya rin, di ba? So that's how we became so close. Hanggang ngayon, magkakaibigan pa rin kami although we're in different parts of the world, di ba? So ganun rin. So ang bottom line dito, yung mga kakaibigan niyo sa college, yung mga sa tingin niyo may future. Okay? Yung mga kaibigan niyo, yung mga good influence. Okay, wag kayong sasama dun sa mga laging pala absent, ganyan. Ang kaibigan niyo yung nag-aaral, di ba? Yung mabait, di ba? Yung mag-encourage sa inyo pumasok, di ba? Kasi sure kayo, may mararating yan sa buhay, di ba? Tsaka kayo rin, mamomotivate rin kayo, hindi ka mapapariwara, di ba? So, ganun rin yung thinking ko ng college, kaya mga kaibigan ko nun talagang sila rin yung nagmo-motivate sa akin to, stay in course and to study well, so I can also excel in accountancy. Kaya nga nung nagkita-kita kami, yung group ko na yun ng college, nung kasal ng friend ko sa Boracay last December, lahat sila successful na in their own fields. Some of them are working in Australia, some are in the US, meron rin sa UK, diba? Yung iba dito rin sa Pilipinas. Diba? So, lahat kami successful in our own fields. Kapag kumakain, nagagawan na ng bill. Diba? So, syempre, ako makikiagaw rin ako, kunwari. Diba? Pero ang bottom line, di ba, lahat sila naging successful because we valued our education, and we valued our company, and we know that we can use that company to our own advantage. Okay, so this can be helpful. Okay, although I understand may mga estudyante rin naman na hindi effective sa inyo yung study group, so itry nyo lang. If it's not, kung wala talaga, then you can stick to studying by your own. Okay, sige. Next. Okay, ito very important. Okay, do not forget to take a rest. It's part of being productive. Okay, you need to take a rest to maintain your sanity. Okay, so ako noon, nung college, every hour nagpapahinga ako like for 10 minutes. Pero nung nag-review ako for the bar, 2 hours. Yun yung max ko. 2 hours, rest ng 15 minutes, and then another 2 hours. So you do you. May mga iba naman, yung Pomodoro technique ata, yung mga short, mga 30 minutes, tapos 5 minutes, short break lang, ganun rin. Pwede rin yun, okay? But it's really important for you to take a rest. Hindi mo rin pwedeng sagarin at dire-diretso kasi baka ma-burnout ka. So you have to take a rest. Huwag naman yung puro rest na lang, di ba? 30 minutes aral, 3 hours TikTok. Huwag naman ganon. Okay, pag ganon, ano na yon, delix na yon. Okay? So mas maganda na alam niyo rin kung paano i-manage yung time niyo, di ba? So mas maganda niyan, ang ginagawa ko rin noon, may timer. May timer. Kahit nakatago yung cellphone ko, tutunog lang yan pagtapos na yung 2 hours. Okay, pagtapos na yung 2 hours, forced na break, mas papahinga ako, scroll ng konti, lakad-lakad ng konti, tapos timer ulit. I-timer nyo rin yung rest nyo. Tapos pagtapos na, balik ulit sa aral. Okay? Kailangan nyo rin kasi para ma-ensure na talagang hindi mabibreak yung schedule nyo. Okay? So do not forget to take a rest. It's really important. And also, you should also, aside from taking a rest during study time, yung weekends, kung wala naman kayong klase, wala naman kayong assignment, you should also utilize that. Okay? Para makapagpahinga, di ba? To spend time with your family and friends, para naman hindi kayo talagang babad na babad sa libro. Mahirap rin kasi kung masyado kayong kung masyado kayong babad na babad sa libro, di ba? Wala na kayong life, di ba? Nakalimutan nyo ng mag-enjoy, di ba? Nawala na kayo ng hobby, di ba? Naging buong personality nyo na yung accountancy course. Mahirap rin yun. Mahirap rin yun. So, try to also rest, try to also enjoy, try to have hobbies, okay? Kasi yan, productive rin yan. Okay, productive rin yan. Para pag bumalik kayo, talaga you're at your best state. Okay? Sige. Next, use rewards to motivate yourself. Ito I did this also. Okay? I did this also. Pero late na nung law school na. Ito, yung paggamit ng rewards to motivate myself, I think it started with my parents also. Kasi nung nag-aaral kami, every time we do well in school, halimbawa, nung nasa elementary kami, every time, let's say, we have honors, kada quarter, pinapa-Jollibee kami ng parents namin. Ganun. Tapos, naalala ko nung grade 2 ako. Grade 2 o grade 3? Parang grade 2. Sabi ng nanay ko sa akin, kapag nag-first honor ka, bibilan kita ng bike. So, yun. So, nung grade 3 hanggang grade 6, lagi ang aim ko first honor. So, true enough, nung grade 3, grade 4, 5, and 6, lagi akong first honor. Every year rin, sinisingil ko yung nanay ko kung asan yung bike. Every year rin, lagi may excuse yung nanay ko kung bakit wala pang bike. It's either susugatan ako, or wala pa kaming pera, ganyan. So, to cut the story short, nakagraduate ako ng elementary, wala pa ring bike. Nung high school ako, kalimutan ko na yun kasi teenager na. Pero may mga rewards pa rin. Okay. Cellphone naman at that time. Okay. So, nung high school, medyo hindi ako masyadong nag-aim na, to really excel in high school. But I still ended up graduating with honors. Medyo reputation era ako nung high school. So, nung college, ganun din, I also use rewards to motivate myself. Ang reward ko noon, kasi sa Bicol University, when you reach a high grade, magiging academic scholar ka. So pag academic scholar ka, may certain percentage ng tuition mo na pwede mong ma-refund. Yan. So yun yung motivation ko, na pag nakaganip akong grade, may 50% refund. Sabi ng nanay ko, yung refund sa akin na. Yun, diba? So, yung nare-refund kong pera, ginagamit ko, diba? So, at least meron pa akong income, diba? Magaling na ako sa school, may income pa. So, yun yung ginagamit kong motivation. Nung law school, ganun rin eh. Working law student ako noon eh. So, nagtatrabaho ako abang naglolo. So, ang motivation ko, galing na sa sarili kong pera, diba? Pag maganda ang performance ko sa law school, bibilan ko yung sarili ko ng bagong bag, bagong damit, ganyan. So, yun. So, nung nag-take na ako ng bar, yun nga, I top the bar by God's grace. Sabi ko sa nanay ko, Ma, top-notcher na ako ng bar. Baka pwede ko nang singilin yung bike. That's the only time na binilan ako ng bike ng nanay ko. So, yan. Sabi ko nga sa nanay ko, ang taas naman ng standard ng bike na yan. Kailangan pa mag-top sa bar. Okay? But ultimately, yung reward system na yan, it's effective for me. Okay, kasi I have something to look forward for. So you can also use that as motivation. May mga nakikita nga ako ibang estudyante na parang kada page at may mga nakaipit na chocolate. Na kapag na-reach nila yon, kakainin nila yung chocolate, something like that, or pera yung iba. So kung ano yung nagpapasaya sa inyo, you can also use that to motivate yourself. Like say for example, kapag natapos ko to, aralin, pwede akong manood ng isang episode ng ganitong series, diba? Or kapag natapos ko to, pwede akong mag-milk tea, ganyan. Kasi pag may ganun kasi, pag may naiisip kang reward, 'di ba? Parang mas ganado ka matapos, 'di ba? Mas ganado ka matapos kasi you have something to look out for, 'di ba? But just make sure syempre na yung reward na yon dapat deserve mo rin kasi hindi masaya, hindi masarap sa pakiramdam kung hindi naman talaga natapos yung task or yung pag-aaral mo hindi naman talaga effective, 'di ba? So yung paggamit mo sa reward to motivate yourself, you also use it responsibly. Okay, dapat talaga deserve mo. Okay? Sige. Alright, next, okay, developing a good study habit is a skill. Okay, so it takes a lot of patience, dedication, and commitment. So when everything becomes too overwhelming, always remember why you started. Actually, this is my final message to all of you. A lot of students, a lot of people can always suggest to you effective study habits that work for them, can always listen testimonials from those who successfully made it. But in the end, it's really you, okay, who can push yourself, can motivate yourself, okay, and who can make your dreams happen. Okay, and the way to do that is to ask yourself always, every time that you want to give up, bakit ko ba to gusto? Why am I here in the first place? Ba? It's difficult, it's hard, naiiyak na ako minsan, pero bakit ako andito? Diba? So you always remember your why. Because that will help you continue. Even if the journey becomes a lot harder. Diba? In my case, no, ito, I showed some pictures na hugot ko. Para makita nyo rin. Yan, minsan may mga sticky notes ako walang susuko. Ganyan. It's really difficult. But every time that I want to give up already, like in my case, when I was studying in law school, I was working, I felt stagnant in my career as a CPA. Hindi ako nakukuha for promotions because I'm a law student. Feeling ko walang progress yung career ko as a CPA. So a lot of times the thought entertained me already to just, stop law school, bumalik na lang or mag-focus na lang sa trabaho, and then, just do what other CPAs are doing, yung mag-abroad, di ba? And just go for greener pastures. Ang daming beses ko yan in-entertain. But every time I think of that, I always remember, gusto ko talaga palang maging abogado, di ba? I really wanted to become a lawyer because I want to help others. And this is really a dream na hindi ko kayang gumising na hindi ko siya na-fulfill, di ba? Na I know that if I give up, every day I will resent myself for not pursuing what I really want. So every time I think of giving up altogether law school, lagi rin parang may pain sa heart ko na hindi ko kaya kahit ang hirap. So tuloy-tuloy lang, tuloy-tuloy lang. Yun lang yung laging naiisip ko noon. So kayo rin, I'm sure you have your own motivation, di ba? So kung pareho man kayo sa akin na hindi naman talaga first choice, hindi naman talaga preference, napilit lang na magulang or kung sino man, di ba? Okay lang yan. Because at the end of it all, kahit hindi nyo man gusto, kapag nakuha nyo yung CPA license, you will still make your parents proud. Di ba? Yung iba naman sa inyo gusto talaga kasi you want a better life for your family. Di ba? So every time you give up, you just look at your parents, di ba? How hard they are working to give you the education you deserve. Di ba? So you use them as your motivation. Di ba? Yung iba sa inyo for your own personal growth. Diba? So you remember that. Diba? Kasi at the end of it all, hindi na lang rin kayo yung sobrang sasaya kapag nakuha nyo yung mga pangarap nyo. It's really the people who believe in you. So every time that you feel like giving up, remember why you started and remember the people who believe in you. Okay? Sige. And just a final point also, I would also want you to also believe in yourself. Because even if you develop good study habits, but you always entertain yung voices inside your head that will tell you that you are not good enough or that you cannot dream big enough, I want you to also overcome that. Okay? So I will share with you my story on how I ended up aiming to top the bar. Okay. When I was a law student, it's a provincial law school. So the training that we have is just really to pass the bar. Kasi isa pa lang naman ang naging top notcher sa school namin, almost 50 years na siya in existence. So parang for us, and yung school rin, ang perspective is, it's just an exceptional case. He's just an exceptional student. Kaya siya naka-top notcher. But the training really was just aim to pass the bar. Yun lang. So when I was in law school also, ganun lang rin yung goal ko. I never really entertained to aim topping the bar. Until one day, yung chairperson namin sa accountancy, who happened to be the sister of one of my professors in law school, told me, sabi niya, nagkita kami sa mall, out of nowhere, sabi niya, "Uy, Dayan, sabi ng kapatid ko, estudyante ka daw niya." Ganito, ganyan. Sabi niya, magaling ka daw, top notcher material. So nung narinig ko yon, yung initial reaction ko was, I was really shocked. And I was really in disbelief that someone would think that. Kasi nga, ang training lang naman sa amin to aim passing the bar. And me, personally, I never considered at that time that I have what it takes to aim topping the bar. So parang nung narinig ko yon, sabi ko, Mom naman, grabe naman po yun. Parang hindi naman po ata. So my initial reaction was already to, not believe in myself. Di ba? Na, hindi kaya. Di ba? I already started limiting myself. Okay? Kasi nga, hindi ako naniniwala na kaya ko yun, na may potential ako mag-ganon. So yun. Kaya lang, when I started reviewing for the bar, I remembered that conversation again. And I don't know, something in me told me na, why don't you try aiming to top the bar? Okay. And in-entertain ko yung thought na yun, but I did not tell anyone. Wala akong pinagsabihan. That was my goal. Kasi I don't want additional pressure. Okay? Ayoko na may mag-pressure sa akin. And I do not want people to expect also. Okay? So, Ang nakakaalam lang ako at saka yung Diyos. Okay, kasi panalangin ko. So, when I started reviewing for the bar, yun na yung prayer ko. Sabi ko, Lord, I want to pass the 2019 Philippine Bar Exams. Okay. Dapat ganun ka-specific kasi pag hindi specific, hindi daw natutupad eh. Di ba? Kaya ang prayer na sana, Lord, pumasa ako sa CPA Board Exams, kulang. Okay, baka sabihin sa inyo ni Lord, o kailan, di ba? Wala ka namang sinabi kung kailang CPA Board Exams ka papasa. Dapat very specific. Di ba? So, ang prayer ko nun, I want to pass the November 2019 Philippine Bar Examinations. And if it is God, if it is your will, Lord, sana maging top notcher rin ako sa bar. Ang prayer ko nga nun, Lord, sana kahit top 8 lang. Yun lang yung prayer ko. Kasi favorite number ko yung 8 at that time. Ngayon pa rin naman, favorite number ko yung 8. Kasi ano, di ba? Yung 8, it is associated also with Mama Mary. Di ba? Kasi yung mga festivities ni Mama Mary, September 8, tsaka December 8. So, I really like the number 8. Sabi ko nga, 8 lang, Lord, kasi yung unang nag-top sa amin, 7. So, feeling ko ang deserve ko lang 8. Okay. Tsaka ano lang to, Lord, suntok sa buwan. Baka lang, gusto ko lang experience. Gusto ko lang i-challenge yung sarili ko kung kaya ko. So, I started praying for that. I even ended up putting yung prayer ko na yon sa likod ng photo na ginamit ko isa-isa sa copies na ginamit ko to take the bar exams. So yan, nakikita nyo. Pinaipit ko siya sa novena ng St. Jude. So, para sa mga devotees ni St. Jude, nakapaipit yan. So, every time na pinapabless ko, andyan siya sa loob. Tapos may ganyan pa, I will top the 2019 bar. Ganon. So, kung nakikita nyo yan, yung nakalagay dyan sa likod, top 8 2019 Philippine Bar Examinations. Okay. So, yun lang yung prayer ko. Kaya lang nga, iba yung plano ni Lord, 'di ba? Gusto niya top 1, 'di ba? Kaya if you also look closely, nung binalikan ko 'yan after the results, yung picture yung photo talaga yan na yan, yung likod ng photo na yan, na-smudge. Yung 8 nagmukhang matabang number 1. Kaya naisip ko talaga noon, baka iba yung na-pray ni St. Jude, baka akala niya ang pinagpi-pray ko number 1, 8 lang naman. But the main lesson that I learned from that entire journey is you can never really limit what God can give you. Never. Sometimes you will underestimate yourself. Sometimes you will look down on yourself. You will limit what you can achieve, di ba? Feeling mo hindi mo deserve yung mga bagay-bagay. Ikaw yung pinaka malaking basher ng sarili mo. Di ba? You're the first one who stop your own capabilities. Di ba? You're the first one who do not believe in yourself. Di ba? But people see something in you that you do not see. And God knows what you deserve. So, if you really put in the hard work, the commitment, and the dedication, the necessary grit for you to deserve that blessing, it's almost impossible for you not to get it. Okay? So, just pray for guidance also. Pray for strength for you to continue. Ibigay nyo lang yung kaya nyo. Diba? Ipag-pray nyo kung will niya talaga, ibibigay niya naman yan. But, ang hindi nyo dapat gawin is yung hindi nyo papaniwalaan na kaya nyo. Kasi kung kayo nga mismo hindi kayo naniniwala sa sarili nyo, how do you expect others to believe in you? So believe in your capabilities, believe in yourself. Diba? Sabi nga nila, when you pray for something, act that you already have it. Diba? When you ask for it, believe that you already have it and it's already yours. Okay? So for those who are future CPAs, or if there are future lawyers out here, claim that you already have it and it will be yours. Okay? Sige. So, I guess that ends my motivational talk and tips on how to develop good study habits for you. Okay? Thank you. Ayan. Tingnan natin kung meron bang... okay. Alright. May questions ba kayo or anything? Parang puro ano ito. Okay. Sige, magbabasa na lang ako ng comments kasi hanggang doon lang talaga yung presentation ko. Excuse me. May nagpapabasbas. Patricia Andrade, good luck sa Quiz B. Okay. Ayan. Hi, Diane Hope Fernandez. Ayan. Thank you sa motivation. Ayan. I'm happy to know na may na-motivate tayo dyan. Okay. Sige. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. Pahingi po ng signs na magstay pa sa BSA. Sobrang nagdududa na po kasi ako sa kakayahan ko. Micaela Campo, you are here and I am here to tell you that you will become a CPA. So, dyan ka lang. Okay. Pawas-pawas po ng grades ngayong fourth year journey. Good luck, Elizabeth Kanyada. Okay. Angelica Buenaventura, good luck. Okay. Yan. Patas sa, oh sure, Joanna Daniela, pag nagkita tayo, dala ka lang ng lapis. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. Best Link College of the Philippines. Saan ang Best Link? Good luck, Alwin Sydney Velasquez. Sana, yes, sana pumasa sa pre-boards. Attorney, which do you think is more important, quality or quantity in terms of studying? Well, of course, it's much better to have both. But for me, mas importante sa akin yung quality. Pero sa review, mag-iiba yung style mo. Sa college, for me, mas importante yung quality. Kasi ano yan foundational eh. Sa review, mas importante sa akin na madaanan mo lahat sa syllabus. Kasi lahat yan dapat itatanong eh. So, habang nasa college kayo, kung nasa college kayo, mas maganda yung good foundation. So, mas importante for me yung quality. Pero pagdating na sa review school, aim to finish everything in the syllabus. So parang somehow mas importante yung quantity. Okay. Okay. Thank you kay Christian Lim. Saan yung you say you? Ayan. Thank you also. Huwag ka mag-doubt sa kakayahan mo. Shayna May Roy Gabas, you can do it. Charles Kubari, yeah, Mark 11:24. Yes. Good luck sa BSA 4 of MSc. Okay, see, working po 4 years ago ng graduate, struggling po makapag-start ulit sa review, especially sa time online review po ako. Baka may advice po kayo, attorney. Okay, mahirap talaga maging working student. I can really attest to that. So, kailangan mo rin talaga ng support system para mag-work. So, sa office mo, kailangan mo rin silang inform that you would like to review again. So, para, they are aware of your situation. Yung pag-start naman ng review, of course, it takes time. Kailangan mo munang kunin yung pacing mo. Hindi ka naman kasi pwedeng biglaan. So, pwedeng gawin mo muna, yun nga, kung overwhelming yung task, i-breakdown mo muna to smaller tasks. So, dahil magsisimula ka pa lang ulit mag-review, why not start by reviewing the syllabus muna? And then taking note of the changes. Okay, and then slowly, yun muna yung aralin mo until makuha mo na yung pace and then masanay ka na sa pag-aaral ulit. Okay, kasi hindi pwedeng agad-agad eh. Isabak mo yung sarili mo. Okay. St. Jude Tadeus is also my patron of impossible. Yes. Good luck, Amory Joy Medina. Ayan. Thank you. You can ask your questions or anything, baka may pabati or whatsoever. Go lang tayo dyan. Kung may questions kayo. Baka RFBT questions pwede naman. Ayan. Good luck, Haliana Asa. Ang working review with kids. Wow, that's so amazing. Good luck po, Miss Irene Calagyo. Kaya mo yan. Kaya mo yan. Yan. Good luck kay Jayan Martinada. May CPA na tayo dito. Congratulations, Edmark Pedrano. Ayan. Thank you, Kerwin Villafranca. Ayan. Ayan. Good luck kay Carol Damakita Calpito and kay Maria Gamboa CPAs. May angat po ang failed subject this midterms from NU Manila. Aangat yan. Angat buhay lahat. Okay. Ben Collis Dormitory Rooms 302 6/6 sa Sipali, May 2024. Claiming lahat kayo makakapasa. Good luck. Asan na yun? Nawala. Good luck kay Sheena Arcelia CPA. Lahat makakapasa, Laika May Levistre, lahat na. At saka kay Erica Pamatian. Okay. Thank you so much, Justin Ferrer. Keep on fighting, padayon. Sa Bicol, ang equivalent word ng padayon is padagos, which means continue. Padagos lang. Yan, kayang-kaya yan. Nerilyn Handog, CPA. This 2024, magre-reo na po. Isang good luck naman, attorney. Good luck, Kyle Senyoron de Lara. Okay, claiming na magiging CPA ako. Thank you. Thank you also kay AJ. Good luck kay Nicole Kayaban. Greetings also from BSA4 ng Marinduque State College. Ay, good luck sa mga taga Marinduque. Hindi pa nakapunta dyan. Invite nyo naman ako dyan para makapunta ako Marinduque. Okay. Sige, maganda daw mga dagat dyan. Ha? Okay. Kabaspas po, attorney, first year BSA CC student from Cavite State University main campus. Good luck, Jessa. Sa buong accountancy graduating students ng SLU Baguio. Wow. Hello sa mga taga Baguio. Good luck sa inyong lahat. Pa-shoutout po kaming dalawa ni Kerwin Villafranca at saka kay Jeff Bermudo. Makakapasa sa exams. Kaya yan. Good luck also kay Micaela Toribio. Hiraya Manawari, kakayanin by God's grace. That's right. Love it. Shout out sa BSA 601 ng STA College Novaliches, Daniela Rose. Okay, pa-shoutout po sa mag-birthday po sa Monday. Happy birthday, Hanalia Alejandro Olabre, CPA. Okay. Good luck also kay Early Descalzo, ang future May 2024 CPA natin dyan. Okay. Hello sa BSA 4B ng National College of Business Arts and Taytay. Yan. BSA 4 rin ng San Carlos College. Pabasbas po ang CJN mga manoks from SLU. Okay. Makapasa. Okay, pasado na yan. Okay, batch sisig. Ang cute nyo. Okay. Thank you, Abdul Wali. Ayan. Pamantasan ng Kabuyaw. Ayan, good luck. Ayan, kay Faye Abelia. Okay. DHFCSU. Okay, BSA 2A. Alright. Okay. Ayan. Sige. Parang nawawala na ako sa mga pa-shoutout. BSA for Faith Colleges or the Neta City University. Ay, may dati akong student dito. Hi, Rosa Maria Palencia. Good luck, ha? Okay. Kay Jeneline May Azur. May 5th year rin tayo from Rizal Technological University, Joyce Palaya. And meron rin tayo sa Kalinga State University, May Lekpat Takers. Okay. General Santos Foundation College Incorporated. Oh my gosh, namimiss ko ang Jensen. Namimiss ko ang aking tuna. Okay. Sige. Okay. Good luck sa mga 4th years dyan. Alright. Sige. So, I guess we can call it a night. Again, thank you so much for being here with me. I really appreciate it. Sana nakatulong ako. And para sa inyo na mga future CPAs pa lang, I hope to see you sa Reo, okay, as a reviewee. And of course, we're looking forward to calling you Reo CPAs. Okay, but for now, you are our Reo babies. Thank you for your continued support and I'll see you again. Thank you so much.